Hello, hope all is well. So I'm mixing things up a little bit this time. I'm adding in background music. If you disapprove, please let me know for future. But I quite like the idea of just adding something in, just as a little extra, you know? Anyway, so this is the tier list. Um, you can see what the tiers are. As usual, I can't rank anything that I can't give a proper analysis of, or at least a a basic level of analysis. So unfortunately, to that note, I have to point out the most obvious. I have not played Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I cannot put it on, but I imagine Tears of the Kingdom would be A plus S if I was to play it because Legend of Zelda games are amazing. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this then. Let's begin with one of the most iconic, Chopper from One Piece. Look at his little eyes. Look at his little tears. He's a good boy, really. Uh, I like the Chopper tiers. I think they go in S tier. Not in my top three, but they're pretty damn strong tiers. That's pretty good. Next, uh, Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with the classic Caesar moment. Um, just one of the most probably one of the most iconic sort of scenes within JoJo for sure. And this bit definitely made me sad when I actually watched it for the first time. It's in my top three. I love it. Right, this one's a little cheating, but I'm expanding the term tier to include Cry. This is to represent Cry Me a River, which was part of Michael Bublé's album Crazy Love. So Cry Me a River is a good song. There's a lot of tears, clearly, because he wants you to cry him a river. But the actual song itself, I think, is a solid A tier. Honestly. So that's where Mickey Bubble's sitting. We're just waiting for his next Christmas stuff. Next, Bob Marley, and then I've just got the image for the one that's listed on the specific YouTube video for No Woman No Cry. So unfortunately, you know where I'm going with this one. The song is amazing. I love it. The actual song No Woman No Cry, probably an A tier, but 0 out of 10. There's no tears in this one. Next up, Big Girls Don't Cry by Fergie. So yeah, it's literally in the title. Big Girls Don't Cry. The song's probably B tier, but we can't be having that. There's no tears here. See you later, Fergie. Next, Chow from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. The picture doesn't do it justice, but they proper sit there and throw proper little tantrums and little and it's a whole cutesy little burst out scene that they do. I'm a big fan. I might stick it in top 3 for now, and then move it accordingly. It might be going back down into S tier, but for me, Chow Cry is up here for now. So next, Marlon Brando playing Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire. So if you haven't seen A Streetcar Named Desire, or read the play, or anything like that, this dude is married to this lady. They have a very abusive relationship. There's one night where he comes home extremely pissed, like as in like alcoholic, drunk. He's like drunk and stupor, and Stella's pretty much just throwing him out, and he's stood at the bottom of the place going, Stella, Stella, and he does it really good. So the Stella scene from A Streetcar Named Desire is very good. Very early Marlon Brando. As you can see, the film was black and white, but very good tier scene. S tier. Next up, crocodile tears. I mean, they're real tears. It's a crocodile. So you know what? Crocodile begins with a C, so we'll put it in C for crocodile. Nice. Moving on. The crying face from Rage Comics. Back years and years ago, I used to love Rage Comics. I didn't used to like the crying face. I didn't used to like this one from the Rage Comics though. There's better static crying images, which we'll get into later. But this is probably a B tier. Next, the crying emoji from the emoji keyboard. Yeah, I mean it's big streams of tears. But it doesn't really appeal to me. I think it just feels something feels wrong about it because it's just yeah. I don't rate it that well. I try not. I don't. It's not a emote I often use. I'm sticking it in C tier. Next up, if you haven't watched Pokemon the first movie, go watch it right now. This scene here, I'm not going to do spoilers. I mean, it's a very powerful scene. Poor little Pikachu crying his eyes out, and there's a whole load of other Pokemon that are. This is a really good scene. This, I mean, the events of what happened in the scene are bullshit, but the actual scene itself is amazing. It's in my top 3. I used to watch it so many times over. It used to proper make me cry. So good. Next, the chorus in "Fix You" by Coldplay. So tears stream down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. So the chorus in "Fix You" is awesome. The actual song itself, I think, is a little overhyped, but the song overall, I think, gets more hype than it deserves because there's so many other songs on XY that were better. But I think the chorus of "Fix You" is A tier in with "Cry Me a River," if I'm honest. Next. This one, where there's two people arguing and there's like... I prefer the one with the stupid smirky face over the basic one, so that's why I pulled up the image. But both will apply because they're both the same sort of tier. I think it's great, honestly. I think it's better than the Rage Comic one, so I'll stick this in a low A. If we're being honest. So next. Bullet for My Valentine. Tears Don't Fall. Well, if tears don't fall, they don't get a ranking round here. 0 out of 10, no tears. Lots of songs in the 0 out of 10, no tears. Kind of disappointing. So, next up. Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. Hey, we had another song which was Cry Me a River a second ago. Now there's this one. So, Justin Timberlake is awesome, but the song Cry Me a River, I don't think it's quite as good as the Michael Bublé one. I think it's high B. So let's bonk this down. Do something like this. And if we're going to put order on things, I think we go like this. We'll shunt this along. There's not as many as my usual tier list videos, so that I won't be changing the icon sizes or overlapping or anything. There we go. So, next. The move Fake Tears from Pokemon. More accurately, Fake Tears was a move that was introduced in the Hoenn region. For those who don't know, that's Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. The icon here is from Pokemon Colosseum. Or I think it could also be Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, but I'm fairly certain this is Pokemon Colosseum specifically because of the background. But yeah, Fake Tears is a move. It drops the opponent's special defense by 2 stages, so it's actually a very powerful move. I also love the animation of this on back on Colosseum days. It was awesome to see it animated, and Plusle's just super cute. Look at him. Ah. So anyway, Plusle is cute, but that's not the point. Fake Tears is the move, really good status inflictor, especially for, well, anybody that learns Fake Tears is typically a special attack prioritizer. So it's a good status move. I'll give it a solid A tier. There we go. Next up. Oh, I think I'm moving my top 3 around a little bit here. This is Peppa Pig. So, when anyone cries in Peppa Pig, this is what you see every time. Peppa Pig's got a lot of same used styles to show things. So for laughing, for instance, when a character in Peppa Pig laughs, they fall to the floor on their back, and they sort of shuffle while they're laughing. So that's the characteristics of laughing in Peppa Pig. In terms of crying, they tilt their head back, and it's just little spouts of tears, like it looks like rain, basically. To me, that's an S tier one. I think Chow sits top of S tier, and Peppa Pig sits in my top 3. I think it's great, honestly. I could go into a big discussion about Peppa Pig, but for now, let's leave it at that. Next up, this little douchebag from Yoshi's Story. Oh god. So, if Baby Mario falls off the back of Yoshi in Yoshi's Story, You get incessant, non-stopping crying while he's floating around the bubble until you pop the bubble and bring him back. It's so annoying. It's not 0 out of 10 no tears, it's just a C tier, honestly. Like, the actual tears themselves also, I'll show you by the size. There's very little tears. This is actually below the crying emoji, honestly. Next up, the Bible Thump emote from Twitch. I understand it's the Binding of Isaac, but I haven't played the Binding of Isaac. Therefore, I can't give an accurate review specifically of Isaac, but I can say that it's fairly iconic. But I have to be fair. I didn't like the emoji face. This is basically the emoji face again. But I think this sits higher. Just because the face is a little... The eyes and the face are a little more expressive, I feel. So that would go above the Rage Comic Cry, I think. That'll sit here. There we go. So, next up. Amy Winehouse. Tears Dry on Their Own. Now, the point is that there are tears. They just dry on their own. So this one gets a pass. Rest in peace, Amy Winehouse. But I personally wasn't a massive fan of her stuff. I think her cover of Valerie wasn't. I did not like her rendition of Valerie. That was just not. It was not the Zootons. It was not my thing. But when it comes to Amy Winehouse, this also is no Back to Black. Back to Black is probably high A, low S, but Tears Dry on Their Own, B tier. Pretty sensible. Next up. So this crying dude, right? If you've never seen the clip, go find it on YouTube. I think it's listed as World's Funniest Cry or something. But this poor guy, it's they're on a TV show of some kind where like this is the result. They just got a result of the DNA test or whatever. It turns out that the guy that he's talking to isn't his brother. He's like the guy that you can't see in this picture says to him, "Doesn't matter what the result says, I still love you." And then because he's upset, of course, he starts crying. But oh my god, it's one of the best. It's one of the best set of cries / tears ever. Let's stick that. You know what? Let's go here. Here we go. Nice. Next. Oh yes, everybody's favourite useless water goddess from Konosuba. I really like Konosuba. Aqua's great. Her cry. All the characters have similar sort of cry faces, but you gotta admit Aqua's is the most iconic. So this is mainly Aqua, but it does apply to most of the Konosuba characters because they're all pretty similar. I love the sort of the mock styles that Konosuba does. Low S, I think. Next up, Amumu from League of Legends. He does this. Now, people that actually play League of Legends would be able to mention it, but I can't too well because it's been some years. I think his W is the ability. He produces tears in an AoE, certain amount of units away from him. So like it comes out and it's a circle, and it's basically a dot which you can toggle. It's pretty crap for damage, but it basically applies on hit effects. But I never really liked the move because I always found I used to run out of mana too quickly. But yes, I was a support main, so I used to use Amumu's W as like a early game sort of pressure thing, rather than try and actually maximize damage. So for me, I think Amumu's W is probably going to sit in B tier because I do like the particle effects of the move. I actually think it's quite cool. It's a cool little ability for the particle effects. The actual tears themselves are not strong. Next up, Tear from Resetir. She's just a witty little attitude with wings. She's a typical yara yara kind of character. All she wants is money, but she's cool. She's A tier. Next, Tearzu. Wrong type of tear, I know. Tearzu's videos are amazing. I love them. Tearzu as a YouTube presence has got to be like high A S tier, right? But you know, following the rules. I have to put you in 0 out of 10, no tears. But Tearzu's videos are amazing. I love them. I would probably stick actual Tearzu in, like I say, S tier. Next up, Tears of a Clown by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. I don't know why I'm being harsh about Tearzu and then I'm being nice about this, but let's assume there's Tears of a Clown. The actual song itself isn't amazing. It's good enough, but I think it's C tier. It's definitely more pleasant to listen to than Baby Mario, so definitely better than a crying emoji. I don't think Smokey Robinson can take on a crocodile, so alligator. Yeah, crocodile, so he sits there. Next up. Oh, and lastly, Tears for Fears. I love the song Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Right, so Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, S tier. Mad World, A tier. Tears for Fears themselves, no actual tears. 0 out of 10, no tears. Unlucky. So there we go. There's a whimsical little tier list I thought I would discuss. There's plenty. I held back on so many songs, and so many little lyrics within certain songs, and you know, there's various other scenes I haven't covered, like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. So, if you want me to write out a rating for anything I haven't mentioned, please let me know. Or if there's enough of them, I'll just do it as another video. But for now, I think that's just a cutesy little starter, huh? So, catch you next time.